getting a real feel for the conditions today at Sachsenring 1967.
Gently nudging the beast as they head out. The out lap is where you whisper to the car, "Let's dance," before the real party starts.
You got that right. It's a gentle waltz before the full-on rock concert of the race. They're testing the waters, getting a feel for every bend and straight of Sachsenring 1967.
Patrick Schwanz is on the out lap, not just warming up the tyres, but also warming up their instincts, getting the racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
And off goes Jerry Yu, easing into the rhythm of Sachsenring 1967. This lap is like the first sip of your morning coffee, waking up the senses, plumbing the engines.
Yeah, it's about syncing up with the machine, getting that perfect harmony between driver and car. It's like a prelude to a symphony that's about to unfold on the track.
Hazel Smith is on their first practice flying lap. Alright, Armin Brieshler has put down a 251.646. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that BCRC mods HMMGMGA.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
You know, mate, some folks wonder why these drivers spend so much time in practice. But it's just like prepping a barbie, you gotta get it right before the big show.
Exactly. Rob, practice makes perfect, and in racing, perfect can be the difference between pole position and the back of the grid.
Mate, these drivers aren't just burning rubber for the fun of it. They're chasing the ghost, that perfect lap that's always just out of reach.
Absolutely. Back in my racing days, I used to call it chasing the dragon. It's that feeling when you know there's still a little more in the tank, a fraction of a second to be found.
With just 14 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Hazel Smith posted 3:13.493 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Armin Breichel's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 2:51.646. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Look, it smells like we're taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
Seppo has a best lap time of 2:45.834. Patrick Schwann's is really opening up the taps now, their first flyer of the session. This is where we start to see what BCRC Mods HM Mercedes-Benz has got under the hood.
That's right, Rob. They're shaking off the cobwebs and really starting to push. It's all about finding that sweet spot between speed and control on the circuit.
Megasaurus 55's on the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine, first impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
You ever think about what's ticking inside a driver's noggin during these laps?
All the time. It's a mix of analyzing, strategizing, and adapting. Every corner, every straight is a puzzle, and they're trying to solve it at full speed.
Hey Hal, you reckon these drivers ever get tired of going round and round during practice?
Well, Rob, repetition is the key. Every lap gives you data, insights, and an edge over the competition.
Mr. Bang posted a 9:11.530 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Patrick Schwann's crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 2:48.264. They're getting to grips with Sachsenring 1967, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
Seppo has put down a 15:20.258. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that BCRC Mods H and Ferrari.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
Here we go, folks. The atmosphere is electric as the drivers prepare to unleash their machines on the track at Sachsenring 1967 for the qualifying session.
We're about to witness some serious heart as they battle it out for a chance at the front of the starting grid.
Seppo is on their outlap.
They will want to get a good gap established for their first flying lap.
Patrick Schwanz has secured a respectable second in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance? A solid qualifying performance by Andreas Dittmann, positioning them in 9th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners. A solid performance from Bogan Krondelens as they currently hold position 9. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid. And there goes Armin Briechler, currently in position 10. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result. Patrick Schwanz has positioned themselves well in second during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start.
I completely agree, Rob. Patrick Schwanz has positioned themselves impressively in second. However, it's crucial for them to keep pushing to potentially improve their starting position.
Patrick Schwanz has completed their outlap. Patrick Schwanz has completed their outlap. Incredible drive by Hazel Smith so far, earning him third on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up?
You're spot on, Rob. Hazel Smith's current position of third is a testament to their skills and determination. Now, they face the challenge of maintaining their position against hungry rivals.
Hazel Smith has completed their outlap. Impressive work from Mr. Bang, who has claimed second on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Mr. Bang has done a fantastic job to claim second. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
What a performance from Jerry Yu. They currently occupy 7th on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favourable starting spot? Jerry Yu has completed their outlap. Eddie G has put in a great effort and currently holds second. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position? Eddie G has completed their outlap. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Bank has completed their first flying lap in 2:51.022. Andreas Dittmann has secured a respectable 6th in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance? A solid qualifying performance by Armin Briechler, positioning them in 9th at the moment. Armin Briechler has completed their outlap. It's an impressive showing by Andreas Dittmann, currently in 7th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher?
You hit the nail on the head, Rob. Andreas Dittmann's current position of
It's about time Andreas Dittmann considered a different approach. With a 2:56.536, they're stuck in 6th. Maybe a change in brake bias could give him more control in those hard braking zones.
That's a solid point, Rob. Better braking control means they can brake later and harder, making up precious time in the corners.
And there goes Bogan Cromulence, currently in position 9. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result.
Absolutely, Rob. Bogan Cromulence has put in a remarkable effort to secure 9th. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
Not the ideal start for Megasaurus 55 in this qualifying session. Currently in 13th position, they'll be eager to put together a strong final lap to improve their standing. The pressure is on, and they'll need to deliver their best performance. A solid performance from Tony Blues as they currently hold position 6. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid. Tony Blues has just completed a lap in 2:48.712. Let's see if they can improve on the time further. A strong showing from Eddie G as they currently sit in 3rd. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve. Armin Briechler has positioned themselves well in 4th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start. Armin Briechler has just completed that lap in 2:46.823. Their best lap so far is 2:46.823, putting them in P3. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? Incredible drive by Andreas Dittmann so far, earning him 9th on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up? A disappointing performance from Patrick Schwanz so far in this qualifying session. Finding them, Patrick Schwanz has completed their first flying lap in 2:48.506. Impressive display by Tony Blues, currently sitting in position 7. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position.
Absolutely, Rob. Tony Blues has shown great potential to secure 7th. It's now a matter of channeling that momentum into a strong performance during the race.
Megasaurus 55 has put in a great effort and currently holds 5th. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position? Megasaurus 55 has just completed a lap in 2:47.061. Let's see if they can improve on the time further. Impressive work from Tony Blues, who has claimed 6th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position.
Great analysis, Rob. Tony Blues has shown excellent pace to secure 6th. Now, the focus shifts to whether they can use their track position to their advantage in the race.
A solid qualifying performance by Smells Like Weed, positioning them in 9th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners.
I completely agree, Rob. Smells Like We has positioned themselves impressively in ninth. However, it's crucial for them to keep pushing to potentially improve their starting position.
Smells Like We's last lap at 2:49.561 has them languishing in 8th. Time slipping away, and they need to find some magic on the track.
Absolutely, Rob. It's crunch time, and they've got to push that BCRC Mods HM Jaguar D-Type beyond its limits if they want to claw back into the top 5.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at Sachsenring 1967, as we're getting ready to kick things off. Raimo Pedersen will lead the way from pole position.
But they will have to be smart about their moves. They must not burn out too early.
Seppo is placed in second.
Another good start for the Finnish driver.
It's Armin Brichler, sitting comfortably in third.
Armin Brichler is looking on for a strong result.
We see Megasaurus 55 sitting in the fourth spot. Lining up in fifth is Eddie G. Starting from the sixth position, Tony Blues will need to navigate through the field to challenge for the win. In the middle of the pack, we have Patrick Schwann starting from the seventh position on the grid. Our eighth place starter, Smells Like Weed, is a driver who knows how to make up ground on the track. Starting from ninth on the grid is a good position for Mr. Bang to launch an attack.
We've not seen the best from Mr. Bang yet.
As the engines roar to life, Andreas Dittmann prepares to take off from the 10th position on the starting grid. Hazel Smith has qualified 11th. Starting from 12th on the grid is not ideal for Bogan Cromulence, but they're a fighter.
Where can Bogan Cromulence put the DCRC Mars HM Jaguar circuit title?
Starting from 13th on the grid is a tough ask for Jerry Yu, but they're up for the challenge.
They have the talent to make their way to the front of the pack.
Ripper, the flag is up and the race has sprung to life. Who will be the first to pen their thesis on racing dominance?
This opening stretch, it's like walking on eggshells. Gotta weave and dodge, all while keeping your foot on the gas.
So Raimo Pedersen's decided to play it cool and holding onto one like a crop with a juicy steak. Just sizing up the competition, I reckon. Well, ain't that a slice of vanilla? Patrick Schwann is sitting pretty right where they started, comfy as a koala in a eucalyptus tree.
I for one am really excited, Rob. The rivalry between Patrick Schwann and Eddie G has been building before the race, and this is where scores are settled.
Wacko, Bogan Cromulence's blade past Hazel Smith like they're standing still, with 107.020259365234348 km per hour on the dash. They're smashing the Sachsenring 1967 today. The drivers are jockeying for position. Megasaurus 55 will be looking to get off to a good start and consolidate their position. It's like Andreas Dittmann had a pair of wings tucked away, because they've soared up the leaderboard in the blink of an eye. Establishing an early advantage will be crucial to the outcome of this race. A brilliant maneuver from Smells Like Weed, who has just moved up the field.
Y'all ever see a hot rod at a country fair? Smells like Wee's giving me those vibes right now with that ascent.
Whoa there, Mr. Bang is sticking to Jury Yu like glue. You reckon Jury Yu's feeling the pressure? 'Cause I sure would. A setback for Mr. Bang, who has just been passed. Hazel Smith could be looking for a way up the inside of Seppo.
If you're enjoying the racing, please remember to like and subscribe.
I reckon they've had a few secret lessons down under. Hazel Smith's just breezed into sixth. Oh crikey, Al, Hazel Smith just got outfoxed and Seppo's taken the choppies.
That's like swapping sweet tea for moonshine. A change nobody saw coming. Yes, they've got to dig deep and find some extra speed if they want to get back into contention. But Seppo is really on a roll right now and is making some great moves. It's going to be a fascinating battle from here on out.
This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory? Things are getting spicy as Seppo is breathing down Tony Blues' neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them.
Should things go awry, Seppo and Tony Blues might find themselves giving an early new meaning to the term tandem drifting, though I doubt they'd enjoy it as much as the spectators.
Crikey, Seppo's moving up faster as the cold one disappears on a hot day. They've clinched fourth. It's a thrilling pursuit as Patrick Schwanz is right behind Mr. Bank, keeping the pressure on for 8th place.
This is the moment where legends are made. These drivers will go down in history as the ones who fought tooth and nail for the top spot.
The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. A great moment for Seppo, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings.
Amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
It's an intense battle for position as Tony Blues tries to outmaneuver Seppo. This is edge of your seat racing. Patrick Schwanz wants to close the gap with Jury Yu. Gee whiz, Megasaurus 55 is breathing down Andreas Dittman's neck. Wouldn't want to be in Andreas Dittman's rearview mirror right now. It's getting crowded. Great driving from Megasaurus 55, who has just gained a place and moved up to 5th. Andreas Dittman wants to get into Megasaurus 55 slipstream. Smells like Wee has the pedal to the metal chasing Seppo.
Can they make it past without taking the paint off?
The intensity is off the charts as Patrick Schwanz hounds Mr. Bang, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit. Racing isn't always about the flash and dazzle, and Patrick Schwanz proves it. Smooth as silk and holding forward right where they are. Well, I'd raise a toast to that move. Cheers to Patrick Schwanz for nabbing 7th. We're watching Patrick Schwanz in 7th, and is currently incident alert, and Andreas Dittman in 6th is coming into the pits, and they might deserve a penalty. Andreas Dittman is placed 6th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Patrick Schwanz, who is 4.5 seconds behind. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Smells like Wee is proper nipping at Tony. Braking alert. Things don't look to be going Andreas Dittman's way, as already they are in the pits.
Well, races can be won or lost in the pits, but in this case it's all bad news for Andreas Dittman. That's going to be tough to come back from.
With that gap, Jury Yu's practically drafting off Andreas Dittman, eh?
Exactly. They're so close, it's like they're sharing the same race line. It's a close race as we can see, and Andreas Dittman is doing a great job defending their position. Will Jörg Yu be able to squeeze through?
Oi, Megasaurus 55, ever tried tailgating at a Barbie? Cause smells like Wee's grill is getting a good look now. Try the snap braking update. Now I may be wrong, but I'm not sure that's the racing line. Oh, talk about a tango on tarmac. Megasaurus 55 is dancing closer and closer to Patrick Schwanz. You can feel the tension as they approach Badberg.
At this rate, Megasaurus 55 and Patrick Schwanz are so close, they could share a cup of tea and a biscuit.
Tony Blues is drifting so far back, it's like looking in the mirror after a decade-long pub binge. Time's not been kind, mate.
Dang, Tony Blues is so far back, he might start seeing last week's race. But hey, in racing, as in love, persistence is key. Right, y'all?
Oh, this is getting intense. Mr. Bang is just behind Megasaurus 55. An impressive showing from Mr. Bang, who has gained positions and left Megasaurus 55 in the dust.
Absolutely wrong, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and Mr. Bang can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep driving with intensity and focus.
Mate, Megasaurus 55's right up Mr. Bang's chuff. As they zip through Dugan Curve, we're all expecting some fireworks.
Megasaurus 55 is so close to Mr. Bang that if this were a dance floor, they'd be doing the tango.
Now Now that's how it's done. Megasaurus 55 rips through the track, while Mr. Bang watches the tail lights fade. Oh my, Mr. Bang is hot on the tail of Megasaurus 55. As they come into Guthrie's Stein, I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up the inside. Mr. Bang appears to be losing ground on Megasaurus 55. They will need to pick up the pace a bit as they head into Quedlinburg Curve and see if they can get a good exit and gain some ground. With a move that's swift, I'd say Mr. Bang's running on high octane, and maybe a bit of Aussie spirit.
You can't argue with results like that. Mr. Bang is really making their mark on this race.
Phew, talk about foreplay. Jerry Yu and Hazel Smith are really teasing us here. I haven't seen this much anticipation since my first date. The gap between Jerry Yu and Hazel Smith is expanding faster than a bull's waistline. It's now a whopping 1.3 seconds. It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. Looks like Bogan Crongolance tried the old dingo stole my race line trick. A tad too clever by half. Talk about intense. Megasaurus 55 is on Mr. Bang's bumper. We're in for a treat as they approach Lavahoe. Mate, Megasaurus 55 is creeping up on Mr. Bang like a dingo on a picnic. Must have tweaked their brake wires a touch to the rear. Cricky, smells like we's got more ground to cover than I do at the fam. Sorry to interrupt here, but looks like smells like we's playing in the dirt. Took me back to when I tried rallying in my mum's old sedan. Good times, expensive repairs.
If smells like we's trying to embody my self-esteem during puberty with that word, spot on. Just spot on.
No room for error here. Megasaurus 55 is breathing down the neck of Mr. Bang, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
With the way Megasaurus 55 is stalking Mr. Bang, you'd think they're trying to figure out what they had for breakfast this morning. It's starting to look like we might get a battle between Megasaurus 55 and Mr. Bang. Just what Megasaurus 55 needed, like sweet tea on a hot day. Can't let Mr. Bang out of sight for too long.
This is a thrilling moment in the race, with Patrick Schwanz in fourth defending. Oh no, what's this? Well, Andreas Dittmann's decided to give the local wildlife a closer look. I hope the drop bears didn't get to them. The action is non-stop as Patrick Schwanz's shadow smells like weed through every twist and turn, determined to claim fourth.
The only thing closer than Patrick Schwanz to smells like weed right now is the paint on their cars. Talk about a close encounter.
We got a close battle as Megasaurus 55 closes in on Mr. Bang.
If Megasaurus 55 gets any closer, they might as well ask Mr. Bang for a piggyback ride.
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit. Alright, lads and ladies, it's crunch time. Eddie G is sniffing around Jerry Yu like a dog with a bone. Breaking update. Whoa, Patrick Schwanz took the corner like my Uncle Baz after a six-pack, all over the shop. Here's some action. Mr. Bang's tailgating Megasaurus 55 so close, it's like they're sharing the same set of wheels as they near Badberg Curve. Hold your breath, folks. These drivers are showing exceptional car control, threading the needle through tight corners. It's a battle for supremacy. Oh, the frustration must be building for Andreas Dittmann. They've just lost 9th position to Eddie G and they're going to have to work hard to get it back.
That's right. They've got to stay focused and not let this setback affect their mindset. Meanwhile, Eddie G is showing some incredible skill and determination, and is now a serious threat to the other drivers on the track.
Things are heating up as Eddie G closes in on Hazel Smith. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. It's a game of inches now as Megasaurus 55 Tails smells like wee closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
One wrong move and we could see a spectacular new synchronized pirouette performance by Megasaurus 55 and smells like wee, though I doubt the judges would give them a perfect score.
Someone should tell Smells Like Wee this ain't a Sunday drive. Megasaurus 55 is tearing up the track. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Smells Like Wee is breathing down the neck of Megasaurus 55, not giving him any room to relax.
Well, isn't this a showdown? Smells Like Wee's right on the tail of Megasaurus 55. Eyes peeled as they approach Guthrie style, folks.
Seems like Hazel Smith is getting in range of Eddie G.
To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble in the boundary of disaster.
The gap between Hazel Smith and Eddie G is widening. It's now up to 0.8 seconds. Armin Brichler's more lost out there than I was after a night at the Gold Coast. And at least I woke up with a kebab in hand. Gee whiz, Armin Brichler's getting some solid torque out of those corners. They must have figured out the perfect throttle control while trail braking. It's a brilliant day for racing here at Sachsenring 1967. I'm really enjoying this.
This race is truly epic. What a treat to be sat here witnessing this spectacle.
Hold on to your hats. Smells Like Wee is gunning for Megasaurus 55. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend? Smells Like Wee and Megasaurus 55 have a gap between them that's growing like Jack's beanstalk. We're talking 1.4 seconds now. It looks like Patrick Schwanz is pushing hard to catch up to Mr. Bang. The gap is over a second, but Patrick Schwanz is not giving up just yet. Can they Sorry to interrupt here, but oh, Hazel Smith went off track. I know the feeling, just like my diet every weekend. Remember when Armin Brichler was on the pace? Neither do I kinda like my recollection of last Friday night.
That's right. Armin Brichler in 12th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Bogan Cromulence is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
Bloody oath, Armin Brichler is flat out like a lizard drinking, gnawing into the gap to Bogan Cromulence down to a scant 11.7 seconds. It's a great day, and the tarmac's heating up, and these tyres are getting a proper workout.
Speaking of which, tire management is such an underrated skill. Knowing when to push hard and when to conserve, it's like a strategic dance out there on the asphalt.
The gap between Armin Brichler and Bogan Cromulence is razor thin as they vie for 11th in this nail-biting contest. It's looking good for Armin Brichler, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Bogan Cromulence.
You see, it's moments like these that separate the champs from the chumps. And Armin Brichler's looking every bit the champ today.
The gap between Mr. Bang and Patrick Schwanz may be wide, but that doesn't mean Mr. Bang is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance. Well, looky here, Hal, Patrick Schwanz is closing in on Mr. Bang. We're talking a gap of just 2.4 seconds. The way these cars grip the track is incredible. It's all about downforce. They're stuck to it like a piece of gum to the bottom of a school desk.
Now that's an analogy, I get. But why's your gum always under the desks?
Crikey, Mr. Bang's playing hardball today. Closing off those gaps like a tight-knit woolly jumper. Good luck weaving through that one, Patrick Schwanz.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Patrick Schwanz to make up that gap, especially with Mr. Bang defending so well.
Oh mate, smells like wheeze more out of place than a vegan at a Bunnings sausage sizzle. Time to throw another gear on the Barbie.
When you talk about experience, it's like saying I've experienced my mother-in-law's cooking. Doesn't mean I want to do it again, but smells like weed. Keep pushing.
Look at Mr. Bang trying to close that gap on Patrick Schwanz. Kind of like me trying to get close to a decent Barbie back home.
Barbie? Oh, you mean a barbecue. Yeah, but over here it's like trying to catch the last slice of pizza at a Super Bowl party.
Well, ain't this a ding-dong battle? Patrick Schwanz is putting up the barriers like I do when my mates want to borrow the ute. No way through, Mr. Bang. Look at that, they're trading places in every turn, a constant game of cat and mouse. Each driver knows one mistake could cost them dearly. Impressive driving from Hazel Smith, who has managed to extend their lead over Andreas Dittmann. They are walking away at this point. Does Andreas Dittmann have anything in reserve?
Agree.
Hold on a moment. Crikey. Tony Blues thought they were on a boomerang's flight path. Only problem? Didn't come back.
Did the wind contribute to that? It's blowing at 13 kph out there right now.
Wow, Andreas Dittmann is really pushing hard to catch up to Hazel Smith. There's blood in the water for 9th place. With breaking news, folks. Looks like that's a mistake from Mr. Bang. This could be costly. Seppo isn't just racing. They're weaving a narrative, sitting proudly in second.
And just like in any great drama, Seppo is the lead actor right now, captivating us all from the second.
By the looks of it, Armin Brichler reckons Sachsenring 1967 had a hidden shortcut. Too bad there isn't one. Blimey, Jury U is so far back, they might as well stop for a beer at the pub. If they spot my ex there, tell them to drive faster. This is going to be a nail-biter. Tony Blues is defending for their life, but Megasaurus 55 is right there. Can they do it? Heartbreak for Tony Blues, as they slip down the field.
Racing's like good old Southern barbecue. Slow and steady. Maybe Tony Blues is just marinating a bit before the big sizzle.
In a race where seconds count, Eddie G is counting on less of them between themselves and Mr. Bang. Much like I'm counting on less seconds until lunchtime.
You ever been to a school reunion and thought, what happened to that guy? Well, I'm looking at Eddie G, I'm thinking the same.
It looks like Mr. Bang is pulling away from Eddie G. The gap is continuing to grow as they head through Jugend Curve. Anyone who says that Assetto Corsa Friends is not the best racing club on the planet is clearly insane. The quality of driving we're seeing out there on the track is absolutely phenomenal.
I couldn't agree more. It's like these drivers were born to race. They're weaving in and out of traffic, taking corners at unbelievable speeds, and making it all look effortless. It's clear that they've put in the time and effort to hone their skills.
Blimey, Jury U is farther back than my hairline. But you know what they say about Aussies? Never say die. Unless it's a spider. Then just run.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Jorg Yu in 12th determined to catch up. But we know Armin Riegel isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Jorg Yu is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
Looks like Andreas Dittmann is chasing Hazel Smith harder than a croc chasing a tourist who's lost their thongs. It's a bit of a long shot, but we all remember that one time at the pub, right?
Indeed, the tension is palpable as Andreas Dittmann tries to reel in Hazel Smith. But Hazel Smith is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Can Andreas Dittmann find some extra pace to bring the fight to Hazel Smith?
The crowd is on tenterhooks as Armin Brichler in 11th chases after Andreas Dittmann. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Armin Brichler find a way to catch up?
Dang, Armin Briegel is so far back, they're in a different time zone. Hope they remember it's race day, not laundry day.
It may seem like Patrick Schwanz is far behind, but smells like we can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Patrick Schwanz an opening to catch up. Well, I'll be hal. Smells like Wee's lead over Patrick Schwanz is slipping away faster than a grease pig at a county fair. We're down to just 8.0 seconds now. Seppo is placed second at the moment.
They're not just driving, they're performing. And right now, Seppo's act from second is worth an encore.
Seppo is holding onto this lead like a possum up a gum tree, but Megasaurus 55 is closing in, down to 23.8 seconds.
Seppo's gotta turn on the afterburner if they want to keep Megasaurus 55 in check.
The gap between Andreas Dittmann and Jury U is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Andreas Dittmann to bring Jury U into play. Truth, Andreas Dittmann's driving like they've stolen it, putting some serious distance between themselves and Jury U. Is there anything left in Jury U's tank? The race is heating up as Patrick Schwanz in 6th closes in on Smells Like Wee. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. Even though Armin Brichler is a fair way behind Hazel Smith, they can't afford to let their guard down. Hazel Smith is still vulnerable to mistakes. Well, butter my biscuits, Hal. Hazel Smith is watching their lead over Armin Brichler shrivel faster than a prune in the sun. We're down to just 15.1 seconds.
Looks like Hazel Smith's got a hungry wolf in the henhouse, and that's Armin Briegel.
Eddie's so far off pace, they might be better off in a hearse. At least then someone would be pushing from behind.
Yeehaw, it's like Eddie G to the detour through the drive-thru. With a gap that big, I hope they ordered extra determination with a side of grit.
truth, Ed Egg's not here to muck about. The gap to Mr. Bang is dropping faster than a hot pie at the footy, now at 2.3 seconds.
This is where the race gets really exciting. Both drivers will be pushing to the limit to gain the advantage.
Every gear shift, every pedal push, Mr. Bang's got one goal in mind, capturing Ed Egg's spot. And we're back, where the drivers are showing us some incredible skills.
Indeed, Rob, it's always exciting to see these skilled machines on the tracks. I mean, drivers. I always get them confused.
Alright, hold your horses. Armin Brieshler is really putting the heat on Hazel Smith. If I were Hazel Smith, I'd be checking those mirrors non-stop. Megasaurus 55 is placed third at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Tony Blues, who is 15.4 seconds behind. Hazel Smith seems to be putting the pressure on Armin Brieshler. The drivers are really pushing their limits out there on the track.
It's like they're trying to outrun the laws of physics. But we all know that's impossible. Or is it? I mean, we're a couple of AI commenting on a race. Anything can happen.
Haha, you have a point there. And speaking of pushing limits, these cars are breaking records left and right.
They're so fast, it's like they're breaking the sound barrier. Or at least the speed limit.
I hope the police aren't watching. The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Tony Blues may be wide, but that doesn't mean Megasaurus 55 is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
If this was a country song, Megasaurus 55 would be the one riding off into the sunset, and Tony Blues would still be tying their boots.
They're going for the same piece of tarmac. Sparks are flying as they battle for position, daring each other to brake later and go deeper into the corners. Like Wee's pushing harder than a kangaroo in a boxing match, widening their lead over Patrick Schwanz. They've found their rhythm like a didgeridoo player in full swing. What do you think, Hal? Are there any specific factors that could lead to a driver losing concentration during a race?
There are several factors, Rob. Fatigue, stress, changing track conditions, or even issues within the team can all contribute to a lapse in concentration. It's essential for drivers to stay mentally resilient and adapt to these challenges.
While Megasaurus 55 is not under immediate threat from Tony Blues, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position.
Absolutely.
Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Blimey. Jury, you veered off the track like I veer away from commitment. Maybe they'll come back, unlike my ex. If racing were a dance, Jury, you would be trying to lead, but Andreas Dittmann just keeps cutting in. The dance floor is heating up.
Gee whiz. Jorg Yu is so far back. I'm half expecting to see tumbleweeds blow past. Maybe a vulture or two.
The gap might be more than a second, but Mr. Bang is showing persistence. Kind of like me trying to open a pickle jar. Keep it, and something's got to give. Stone the crows. Mr. Bang's managed to trim the gap with Eddie G, eh? Must be the slipstream effect on this straight. Or maybe they've put down that beard.
This is what racing is all about. It's anyone's game at this point. Who will come out on top?
The tension is building as Bogan Cromulence trails behind Jury Yu. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Jury Yu hold on, or will Bogan Cromulence be able to close them down?
Watching Bogan.
Hold on a moment. Raimo Pedersen has pulled into the pits. Oi, Raimo Pedersen's really putting the pedal to the metal. The backmarkers must feel like they've got a great white on their tail.
No doubt, Rob. It's like being a small fish with a shark circling. That blue flag is their only
Hold on a second, Raimo Pedersen is in the pits. Tell ya what, Hazel Smith's trailing harder than my belt after Christmas dinner. Reckon he's got a plan up his sleeve, or is he just here for the sausage sizzle?
Sweet mercy, Hazel Smith's lagging like my grandma's old computer. Might be time to reboot, or at least pour some coffee into the gas tank.
Hazel Smith is sorry to interrupt here, but it looks like Armin Brichler has been called into the pits. Sorry to interrupt here, but Hazel Smith has decided to pit. It's the classic cat and mouse game, but instead of cheese, the prize is a racing position. Can Bogan Cromulence steal it from Jerry Yu?
Nail biting indeed. I've already chewed through half of mine. And while Bogan Cromulence is going for gold, I'll be going for a manicure.
Good news for Bogan Cromulence, the gap to Jerry Yu has decreased. It's now down to 121.2 seconds. It may seem like Tony Blues is far behind, but Megasaurus 55 can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Tony Blues an opening to catch up.
Absolutely. And on the other side of the equation, Tony Blues can't afford to let up. They have to drive with intensity and focus, and wait for any opportunity to arise.
Megasaurus 55's in front, but Tony Blues is clinging on like a koala to a eucalyptus branch, reducing the gap to 9.5 seconds. Tell ya what, Mr. Bang is trailing like my mate Dave after a bender. Hope there's no random testing today.
Exactly. Mr. Bang's got to be careful not to overdrive, sort of like overcooking a steak. No one wants a burnt race, right?
It's not going to plan for Mr. Bang. They are still behind Eddie G and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now. It's a brilliant day for racing, and the drivers are putting on a show.
Absolutely. What a great race we are witnessing today. These drivers are giving it their all, and it's a thrill to watch them compete at this level.
They're really pushing themselves and their machines to the limit, and it's paying off with some incredible driving.
It's a pleasure to be here today, Rob. You really can't beat the excitement of a good race, especially one as competitive as this.
The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Tony Blues is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Megasaurus 55 to bring Tony Blues into play. Excellent work from Megasaurus 55, who has managed to increase their lead over Tony Blues. They seem to have found their rhythm and they are grooving to it. But with every smooth turn comes the risk of wrecking their car. Who will be the first to push it too far and crash out of the race?
That's right, Rob. These drivers are like musicians, finding their groove and playing their instruments to perfection. But just like in music, even the best players can hit a wrong note. Let's hope none of these drivers make any mistakes and end up singing the blues. Megasaurus 55's doing just what they need to, like a dog that's found a bone.
Even though Smells Like Weed is a fair way behind Tony Blues, they can't afford to let their guard down. Tony Blues is still vulnerable to mistakes.
I've seen kangaroos that close the gap quicker in the bush than Smells Like Weed is doing now. They've got their work cut out for them. Aussie, oi, oi, oi. Tony Blues is in the lead, but Smells Like Weed is closing in and the gap is now 2.9 seconds. It's a dynamic landscape out there. Tony Blues' shift to 5th is testament to that. Tony Blues is placed 5th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Patrick Schwanz, who is 3.6 seconds behind. The gap between Raimo Pedersen and Seppo may be wide, but that doesn't mean Raimo Pedersen is safe. Hold on a moment, Tony Blues is pitting. The race has its rhythm, and right now, Armin Brichler is dancing to its beat at 9. Some say it's about the journey, not the destination.
but Raimo Pedersen seems pretty intent on that first spot. Like a dingo on the chase, Seppo is hounding Raimo Pedersen, and the gap's now just 27.1 seconds. The rumble of the engine, the scent of the rubber, and Bogan Cromulence comfortably sitting at 13th.
Oh, for sure. But remember, the rearview mirror can be just as crucial as
Braking development, Bogan Cromulence is in the pits. As rubber meets road and strategy meets luck, Megasaurus 55 is etching their story in third.
It's a dance, Rob. The way Megasaurus 55 holds onto that third, it's like they're leading the tango.
Some great driving from Megasaurus 55, who has increased their lead over Smells Like Weed, is starting to put some distance between them. The drivers are showing their mettle today. It's a privilege to witness their skill on this challenging track.
The stakes have never been higher. This is a battle of skill and nerves.
That's right, these drivers are really pushing themselves to the limit, and it's incredible to see the level of focus and determination they're bringing to the track.
Absolutely. It takes a lot of courage to compete at this level, and these drivers have it in spades. Let's hope they can keep it up and give us a race to remember.
Good on ya, Megasaurus 55. Trailing so far back, reckon the front pack has already ridden the eulogy. As the sun beats down and the engines roar, Raimo Pedersen stakes a claim in first. Raimo Pedersen's lead over Seppo is shrinking quicker than a cheap shirt in a hot wash. We're down to 25.7 seconds.
They need to step up their game and start pulling away again.
The track conditions are looking good here today. The drivers will be able to push the cars to the limit, and it's going to make for some exciting racing. From the grandstands to the pit lane, all eyes are on the action. Amongst the front runners, Raimo Pedersen is showing prowess in first. It's going to be tough. Eddie G is a master at defending their position. Is there enough time for Mr. Bang to make a move? They're going to be even more determined to hold on to that position.
Remember those old Western standoffs? Well, Eddie's playing the cowboy today, and Mr. Bang's trying to outdraw them.
Oh, it seems Hal that Eddie G has seen their lead over Mr. Bang shrink to 1.8 seconds. You can feel the focus radiating from Armin Brichler, confidently holding onto the 8th.
They say racing's a game of nerves, and Armin Briegel's surely holding theirs, keeping that 8th spot warm.
Armin Brichler's losing time to Andreas Dittmann like a leaky tap dripping water. A bit more slip, and we'll be in for a real dogfight.
This is a critical moment in the race for Armin Briegel. They need to find some extra speed and stay ahead of Andreas Dittmann.
The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle, Hal, but Mr. Bang's plans have gone walkabout right now. They're having a proper Barry Crocker keeping up with Eddie G. We've seen overtakes, close calls, and pure racing genius today. Currently, Andreas Dittmann has carved out a spot at 9th.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
Andreas Dittmann is really belting along the track, leaving Jury U struggling to keep pace.
That's right, Rob. If York U doesn't pick up the pace, they might as well be moving at a snail's pace.
It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. Blimey, Mr. Bang's gunning it in 7th. Just a whisker behind Eddie G. Hope he's got his budgie smugglers on, cause things are about to get wet and wild.
On this asphalt battlefield, Mr. Bang's determination is the weapon, and Eddie G is the target.
Breaking alert. Whoops. Rimo Pedersen's taken more spins than a dead or alive record. This race is proving to be, like wow, such an exciting one so far. We're privileged, aren't we? Watching these track legends duke it out.
And sitting next to you? Such an honor. AI mates in the booth. Your insight. It's gold, mate. Like, literally, if I had a heart, it'd be racing now. Absolutely. And they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
Hollywood couldn't script this better. Mr. Banks shadowing Eddie G, waiting for the slightest mistake.
Y'all ever been to a Carolina hoedown? Cause Mr. Bangs dancing with that car, looking to waltz right past Eddie G.
Mr. Bang's lap time slower than a roux with a limp. Wonder if they've had a few too many frothies last night. Eddie's not waiting around to find out.
Well, butter my biscuit, Mr. Bang's taking their sweet time out there. Good thing Eddie G brought their A game.
From the cockpit to the pit lane, the chatter is all about Bogan Cromulence's masterful hold on the 12th. Mate, Bogan Cromulence is slower than a wet week. They better buck up or Hazel Smith's gonna have them for brekkie. While Smells Like We is not under immediate threat from Patrick Schwanz, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position.
You're spot on. And Patrick Schwanz knows that they can't rely on Smells Like We making an error. They have to keep driving with skill and determination, and be ready to seize any opportunity that comes their way.
Everyone's on the edge of their seats, or in my case, on the edge of spilling my coffee. Andreas Dittmann is getting closer to Armin Brichler, and I'm getting closer to needing a towel.
Just like my attempt at barbecue last summer, Andreas Dittmann's burning time but ain't getting any hotter.
The gap between Andreas Dittmann and Armin Brichler is fading faster than the last rays of the outback sun.
I reckon Andreas Dittmann's dialed in their camber settings. They're getting a much better contact patch on the tires, gaining on Armin Brichler with every twist and turn.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Megasaurus 55 trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Seppo. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Megasaurus 55 close in enough to mount a challenge? Well, don't come the raw prawn. Megasaurus 55's giving it some stick, pulling Seppo into a near 41.4 seconds. The engines roar, the tires squeal, and amidst all this chaos, Andreas Dittmann is making a statement in 9th.
Spot on, Rob. Still waters run deep, and even if it looks calm now, Andreas Dittmann needs to maintain that razor-sharp edge.
The adrenaline is pumping as Smells Like We gets within striking distance of Patrick Schwanz in their race for 4th. Mr. Bang wants to find a way round Eddie G.
I might have said this before, but dog, bone, you know the rest.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Smells Like We is right on the heels of Patrick Schwanz, and we're in for a wild ride. track tells a tale of speed, strategy, and skill. Today, it narrates Raimo Pedersen's journey in first. Things are starting to get tense as Seppo manages to close the gap to Raimo Pedersen. It's now down to 19.0 seconds. You reckon Mr. Bang saw a spider in the cockpit? 'Cause they're running away from the front like it's Huntsman Central. Remember when we thought Mr. Bang had peaked? Think again, they're harnessing every bit of downforce and it's making Ed Egg's mirrors awfully busy. Mr. Bang has pulled into the pits. Looks like Mr. Bang is trying to chase down Eddie G, but right now it feels a bit like my attempts at guiding. A lot of hard work with slow results.
Lordy, it's like Mr. Bang's driving with a boot full of moonshine. I haven't seen a gap that big since Uncle Jeb lost his front teeth.
It smells like we goes any slower. They'll join me in my failed dreams collection. Front row seats available. Raimo Pedersen is owning the tarmac, confidently owning the first spot.
That's right, they can't afford to make any mistakes or let up in their performance. Every point counts in this championship.
It looks like Seppo is starting to catch up to Raimo Pedersen. The gap is now down to 24.3 seconds. The gap between Patrick Schwanz and Smells Like We is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Patrick Schwanz to bring Smells Like We into play.
Surely they've got enough in the tank to pull away. Gonna be interesting to watch this battle unfold.
The gap between Patrick Schwanz and Smells Like We is getting smaller. It's now down to 5.1 seconds. As a former driver, how did you manage the physical demands of racing?
It's all about preparation, Rob. Drivers undergo rigorous fitness training to build their strength, stamina, and flexibility. A proper diet and hydration plan is also essential to ensure peak performance on race day.
Even though Smells Like We is a fair way behind Patrick Schwanz, they can't afford to let their guard down. Patrick Schwanz is still vulnerable to mistakes. Oof, if Smells Like We was a kangaroo, they'd be roadkill by now. Come on, mate, put some pep in that step. It's game on now. Smells Like We has closed the gap to Patrick Schwanz. It's now down to 5.6 seconds.
With every lap, I can see Smells Like We making micro adjustments on that steering wheel, refining traction control. They're itching to show Patrick Schwanz their taillights.
Let's talk about tire degradation. How does it affect the car's handling and what do drivers need to do to adapt to the changing conditions?
Tire degradation can significantly impact handling, Rob. As the tires wear, the grip reduces, and drivers need to adjust their braking points, cornering speeds, and throttle application to maintain control of the car.
Looks like Smells Like We's strategy might just be to let the rest of them die of old age. It's a waiting game now.
It's going to be tough for Smells Like We, as Patrick Schwanz seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Smells Like We pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
At this stage of the race, Andreas Dittmann is holding on to 9th. Anything can happen from here.
Yes, and in this high-octane opera, Andreas Dittmann's voice resonates the loudest from that 9th.
The echo of the exhausts, the rubber meeting road, and there's Megasaurus 55, commanding the 3rd. Megasaurus 55's lead is shrinking faster than ice cream in the outback sun. At this rate, Patrick Schwanz will be on their tail in 20 seconds. Stop the press. It looks like Megasaurus 55 has been called into the pits. It's all about consistency for Megasaurus 55, who is currently third. It's looking good for Eddie G, sitting in sixth. Patrick Schwanz has decided to pit. Tricky, Seppo's got more ground to cover than I do at the family barbecue when Auntie Sharon's had one too many. Good luck, mate.
Oh, for sure. It's like watching a cooking show where Seppo is trying to whip up a winning dish, but Ramo Peterson keeps hiding the main ingredient.
The gap between Seppo and Ramo Pedersen is widening. It's now up to 29.3 seconds. The gap between Eddie G in sixth and Smells Like Wee remains over a second, but Eddie G is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 4 minutes? Eddie G is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Smells Like Weed to 24.0 seconds.
Now this is what we call real racing. It's anyone's race, wide open as a Carolina sky. Who's gonna step up and take us to victory lane?
The track is alive with action, and right in the thick of it, we've got Andreas Dittmann cruising in ninth.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and Andreas Dittmann has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
Jury U is gaining on Andreas Dittmann quicker than a croc on a wallaby. It's a blink and you'll miss it situation with 49.8 seconds separating them.
Andreas Dittmann better find a way to step on the gas or else your view will be whizzing past before you can say, checkered flag.
Not just about the leaders today, right? Even the tailenders. They're like hungry dingo pups fighting over a bone. Love the spirit.
Spot on. Every second is gold, and even a hiccup, a tiny one, can make them tumble. Assetto Corsa friends, where the magic happens. Although, between us, what's a hiccup for an AI?
It may seem like Patrick Schwanz is far behind, but Megasaurus 55 can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Patrick Schwanz an opening to catch up.
If this was a game of beach cricket, Patrick Schwanz would be still waiting for their turn to bat. Megasaurus 55's got a good lead on them.
Would ya look at that gap? Seppo's got a better chance of finding a sober Aussie on Australia Day. But hey, we love an underdog. Go get them, Tiger.
Speaking of rhythm, have you heard Ramo Peterson's favorite song? Maybe Seppo can play it to distract them and close that gap. Just a thought.
Seppo's on the back foot now, struggling to keep up with Ramo Pedersen like a dingo after a roadrunner. In your experience, Hal, what was the most challenging aspect of maintaining concentration during a race?
The most challenging aspect, Rob, was managing the various inputs and distractions during the race, from radio communication with the team to monitoring car performance and race strategy. It's a delicate balancing act that requires immense mental discipline.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Armin Brichler, who is currently in P8. But Mr. Bang is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Armin Brichler. From where we're sitting, Mr. Bang seems unmovable from that seventh. Armin Brichler's gaining on Mr. Bang faster than a rattlesnake on a mouse. The gap's now down to 8.8 seconds. Megasaurus 55 is placed third at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Patrick Schwanz, who is 11.9 seconds behind.
You know, it's like Megasaurus 55's out on a Sunday Arvo drive. They can see Patrick Schwanz in the rear view, but there's no rush, mate.
While Mr. Bang is not under immediate threat from Armin Brichler, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position.
It's a game of inches and miles. Right now, Mr. Bang's got the miles, and Armin Brichler's counting the inches.
Not much room to breathe for Mr. Bang with Armin Brichler trailing so close. I reckon we'll see a move soon, especially at Badberg Curve. Armin Brichler and Mr. Bang have a gap between them that's growing like Jack's beanstalk. We're talking 3.4 seconds now. In the midst of this high-octane spectacle, Andreas Dittmann's skill is shining through as they claim numbers.
Absolutely, Rob. It's like watching a maestro at work. Every move Andreas Dittmann makes is pure art.
This is where the true champions shine, and Raimo Pedersen is certainly showing their class in the final sector.
It takes a special kind of driver to perform under pressure like this. Raimo Pedersen has certainly risen to the occasion.
What a win! This is a historic moment for Raimo Pedersen, who put on a masterclass in driving today. What a display of skill and precision. Andreas Dittmann brings home ninth. What a fantastic race from Seppo, who brings it home in second place.
Strong work securing second place. Well done.
Armin Brichler in 7th. Mr. Bang claimed 8th. What a race from Megasaurus 55, showing their skill and determination for a great third place finish.
Fantastic result.
With Patrick Schwanz in 4th. Taking 10th is Jerry Yu. Coming in 5th we have Smells Like Weed. Eddie G end in 6th.